been working on a modular quest system in Blueprint. I've been using the editor utilities, try and make this easier to set up. One of the things I noticed in setting up a quest, if you try and open up things in the details panel, let's say I want to change this, and then I'm adding more stuff to, which one is it here? It closes, I don't know why it does this, but it closes this up, so you have to reopen. So if I have a bunch of stuff I want to add to these arrays, it's going to close it up every time, which is an absolute pain in the butt. So by removing that and doing everything through my setup here with the editor utilities, I can get this is all the quests that I've created. These are all data tables, or sorry, data assets. And it's reading from a data table to get this information, whether it's active and what type of quest it is and some of that stuff. So I choose that quest, and then it's got all the information about what is in that quest using these detail panels for the editor utilities. So I can make changes based on, this is all set to the defaults of what each of these objects does, and the quest itself is set up the way I think I want it, but I can override it here if I wanted to do that. It should be fine where it is. And then I'm adding these things to the world using this object here. You just kind of move it where you want it, and it's going to rotate around and spawn every 45 degrees. It's going to spawn an object that's needed. So you have everything you need to be able to complete the quest. So hit submit, and it drops everything into the level. And now I can take all this and move it where I want it. These are one of the objectives. This is the second objective in the first phase. And then I'm calling it phases. I don't know what other games call it. I know World of Warcraft, which a lot of this is sort of based off of the way WoW does stuff. But you'll have kind of two objectives. You complete those two, and then it changes over to, okay, now those things you just killed, go kill their boss, or take the things you collected back to the person that gave it to you. And so this is the second phase objective, and you can see that in here. So I've got phase 1 has these two objectives, and phase 2 has this objective. Some of these things aren't working yet. As far as changing stuff, I noticed I thought I had it working. Some of it may have broken recently. I've been doing a lot of work on cleanup and stuff. But the idea is that you should be able to do everything you want through this panel, and then if you decide, like for instance, I want to have two of these objectives, I can add that selected objective to the set, and then I just refresh the. Okay, so select my quest giver again, hit the detail view. Now it shows that I've got two, but it didn't change my overall requirement on that, so I would have to go change that in the data asset to match. But a lot of times you want more objectives than you actually need to collect. So the players running around the world, they don't have to go to exactly the spots that you wanted them. They're just trying to collect whatever they can find. So once that's done, then just hit play, and your quest has been created. Walk up here, talk to the dude, hit accept. Now here's the first objective, so I'm collecting these one at a time. It's updating on the right. Now it moves to the next phase, which has these. I only need the one. I don't have anything turning those off or anything yet, so that's something that'll come. Select your reward, hit complete. Quest is over. Nothing there. So now you're done. So the other thing I've been working on is creating data tables through the same tool, or a separate tool, but same idea, which easy enough to do in an actual data table. But one of the things I was trying to add was I can change like the type of quest, which will update the indicators that show up. So these can be changed out for however somebody would want to mess with that. Not all of this is final. The other thing I've figured out you can do, it's maybe a little dangerous, so I have it off by default, but you can actually update the data table that these quests are added to. So let's just make something up here. I'm going to add one objective just so there's something. It doesn't matter what it is. 3 of those. It's going to be a collectible. And all of these items, everything is done with a component. So I have a collectible in this project that works, so you can walk over it, pick it up. But for someone who, where's my BP? What the heck? Am I blind? BP collectible. Man, I could not see that. Choose your mesh. I'll just choose that same one we had there. That's an override for the material. You can have them start hidden. You can not show the objective count. So if it's like a speak to quest, you don't need to show speak to Bob one time or whatever. You don't have to show that. Things can be done through a spawner, so you can tell how many objects. That needs some work. That's something I'm still playing around with. Anyway, this is good enough. New quest. This is all the text that shows up depending on the state of the quest. So this is the quest name, and then when you first see the quest, it would say this stuff. Then while it's in progress, if you go back and talk to the guy, it's going to show this, and then when you complete it, it's going to show this. This could easily be added onto if somebody wanted to, and then rewards right now are just visual. So I just throw something in there so it at least shows up. You can add multiple to this. It really only shows 4 properly right now in the sort of makeshift UI that I'm using. But again, the intent of this is for this to be able to be dropped into somebody else's project and be modular, so they would be able to choose the blueprint that would be given, and then this would call an interface probably, and then they would run whatever their logic is to actually give an item into the inventory and everything. So I think that's good. So hit create quest, gives you a button to go see it directly where it was placed or created, and then this takes you to the data table. If you didn't add it yourself or didn't let it add it manually, or sorry, automatically, you would go here and add it yourself, but I went ahead and did this. So what I'm doing here is just I'm kicking everything of the current data table to a string, and then I'm appending the extra stuff to that string as its own CSV string, and then recreating the table so it adds that stuff back in. So far it's worked well, but I don't know how that would work, how that would scale with really large data tables and things like that. So use it at your own risk, but it's kind of cool that it actually works. So then now that should give me, let's move this over here. Let's take a look at this guy. There's nothing on it, so scroll down. My new quest is there, and it's set by the defaults of whatever I set in there. We'll make them walk over so you don't have to push a button. Maybe spread them out just a tad bit, and then hit play, and it should. Now this one I didn't set to start hidden, and this is actually set up right. I just I have my defaults switched on what the icon should be showing. Now just walk over it, and it picks it up, finish the quest, come on back, and done. So again, theoretically this should be, right now I support triggers, so you can place a trigger. In fact, here I can do that real quick just to show what it looks like and how that works. I'm not spending a ton of time on the actual objects that I'm putting into the world. I'm making them kind of basic, but just to show what they can do. But with each type of object, I haven't added. Well, actually, there's nothing currently for the trigger that needs to be added for additional details. But for things like this is a spawner, and it's telling what it's spawning, but then here's the details on the spawner that get set. So you can change these things as you plop them in there. And I'll show in a second. It's really easy to remove a quest as well. So this is, where's my trigger? So this is the trigger, and this one, like I said, it's set up really simply right now. You can just change the extent. So let's go make it nice and big. Not too big, but whatever. So then the intent here is that this is something you walk into, and once you do, it switches phases and it will spawn these bores that are just moved to objects. They're not actual AI or anything. But so I believe, should work. Yeah, I can run over there. It doesn't trigger anything because it's not active. Once I hit, once I hit accept, now it's activated. So when I cross this line, it should. Where's my line? It might be too high up actually. No, that's interesting. That should be working. Worked just 2 seconds ago. Maybe just change the height to be sure I'm hitting it. Try this one more time. There we go. So now they show up, and I don't have any actual weapons or anything, so I just have this little arrow that I fire to be able to test the kill quests. And I don't know why they're spawning in the sky. I got to fix that as well. But again, so I'm supporting. Right now, I support triggers, spawners for some sort of AI or moving items. Sorry, my baby's crying in the background. Collectible objects that can be used in a couple different ways, and the triggers can be used for things like if you want to track footprints. So you make it so it's a walkover and it only shows the first one. So you have to cross them in the right order. And then you can set that up with phases. You got to talk to somebody in between. The Speak To quest right now is one of the things I'm working on. The way I'd set it up originally didn't support having multiple Speak Tos on a single quest, and it always was the turn-in for the quest. So I've got to rethink how that's being put together. Having a little trouble with it. And then I'm trying to think. I think the main things once I get that figured out, I think I've got the main support of the things I want to do. Like I said, everything is component based. So if people have some other special way of doing things, for instance, an inventory item that you right click to start a quest or finish a quest or something like that, that's just a component. So you put that on. I guess on an inventory item that might be a little difficult if that's a widget, but you could call a whoa, sorry, you could call an interface to something. I don't know. I have to figure that one out. That's actually I hadn't thought about that. But the idea is that it's a component. You can put it on anything and call the correct function to collect. Come here. And then last things I need to do save load, which hopefully should be fairly simple once I have everything set up and know that it works. And then I want to make this work with the new input system in Unreal, which I have not figured out yet, so I got to learn that. But that's where we're at so far, and I'm actually pretty happy with it. So hopefully it's something that people are interested in, and I'd love to hear feedback if people have it.